Through the use of creative visuals and spoken word, we young adults from London and Manchester have come together to reflect on our experience of inequality and what that means to us, practically, emotionally, and personally.
I wish that being in care meant genuinely being cared for, or are my needs too expensive for you that it's easier to ignore? You see my history and my mistakes, not me as a whole. My age is a number that I can't choose or control. Yet you choose that all my needs suddenly end at 18. Why ask what I want when that continues to be unseen? You say it's always going to be hard and that life's not fair, but that doesn't give you the right to treat me with no care. I want you to understand and listen, not continue to feel short. Why is that if I lived in another borough, I'd get actual support? Or if I had another social worker, my needs would be recognised? A broken system that doesn't see me, leaving me demoralised. A postcode defining whether I deserve a roof over my head. How many more times will I be mistreated in my future ahead? How many more tick boxes to fill to say you've done your job? Do you even really remember why you wanted to do this job? Because your apathy will cost me my dreams and my future. I'm part of a service who uses me, yet I'm called a service user. Does the service user remove the humanity in me as a person? Or does it justify your lack of humanity because I'm such a burden? I wish that doctors would realise that my life is not just textbook. Desensitised to seeing my pain because it's not by the book. All I want is for you to hear me out because I'm the expert in my life. Your degree doesn't give you the right to claim you know my life, as you talk about my struggles to strangers without my consent. One night in hospital costs more than my monthly rent, because it's easier to put monetary value on my life and health, as if life is so priceless that it's now exploited solely for wealth. Is it easier to prescribe and diagnose than it is to actually ask me, because what I feel and want is invalidated unless you agree? Do you recognise me as an individual past being just a patient? Even once I told you my story, all you did was make me an inpatient. You said all you genuinely wanted is what's best for me, when in reality all you've done is decide what's best for me. As a healthcare professional, you focus on treating my problem, when forgetting the basics on how to treat a person is a problem.
My story. Male, female, trans. Innocent, naive innocence. Undiagnosed, stigmatized, antagonized. Guilty from point of engagement. Broken down, immobilized, darkened.
Access denied. Does my presence, gender, economic, racial, social status disturb you? Is that really why I'm not listened to? The power's not with me, but with you. Seen but not seen, and other to be profiled. You are you and I am me, not to be stereotyped. Mental health is not a stick for you to beat me with. Misdiagnosis of my pain feeds your biases. Then you place me in a box and on a waiting list, bouncing around in my mind, crisis to crisis, until this, access denied.
Because I'm real, I no longer exist. Have you ever seen me, the one stood behind the wall, quivering from the cold, cowering from shame? Have you ever seen me, before I became who I am, when I was still human? An alien, no choice in who I am, caged behind my label of disadvantage. In which cell do I belong? The racial, the social, the mental? My inmate number, my postcode. You only learn to tolerate me. Only tolerate, never understand, never empathize. Your eyes ever averted from my gaze. my yearning reduced to disdain. Society has become so cold to me. I am numb to myself, my feelings dimmed. If you could recognize my circumstance, this could happen to anyone. To see me, the true me, not a surrealist painting. But I'm only a fantasy. I'm used in your stories, ridiculed and voiceless. And it's funny to you. At this distance, I'm a world away. So far, the real me is forgotten. But I'm not real. I no longer exist. I've become new. A treatment for my circumstance have you made me, a prescribed identity. But that me isn't real. I no longer exist. I am me. I am who I am.
Mate, you alright? You have an appointment? You have an appointment?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I need urgent help.
Okay, yeah, you look like you need the A&E, but that's right around the back. You need to follow the blue line, which is just over there, and then there'll be someone there to help you. Okay? Yeah, I'm in A&E. No, I cut my finger peeling potatoes, imagine. I know. Excuse me. Oh shit, I just got stabbed.
So, what's the problem?
Please help me. I've been stabbed.
Okay, I'm just going to need you to fill out this form. Are you registered at a GP in the UK?
Why else can you about that, man? Please, I've been stabbed.
So you need to lower your tone, you're being very aggressive.
Why is that my fault? Because of my skin, because of my colour, I've been stereotyped. Why is that my fault? Because of my skin, because of my colour, because of my culture, I've been seen less as a human. Why is it my fault? Because of my skin, because of my colour, because of my culture, I will not be able to see another day. I will not be able to live another day. Why is it my fault? I'm begging you, please, just put your pride away and do the right thing.
Race and care are intertwined, but sometimes it's harder to read in between the lines. I remember being 8 and hating the skin that I was in. My hair was too thick, my skin was too dark, my lips the opposite of thin. It seemed like every teacher had an issue with pronouncing Omorige because it didn't roll off the tongue. My friend's surname was McDonough, and they never made a mistake once. Race and care are intertwined. I had to constantly remind myself that over time. I felt not listened to in spaces which were institutions made to educate me. Instead, I was denied the opportunity to just be free. Being told over and over again that my hair was unkept or my braids were dry, words said so casually but they cut me inside. So imagine my surprise when walking outside and I see a race that's different to mine being celebrated for things that I was told were inappropriate or unprofessional. Race and care are supposed to be intertwined, but the system has failed so many times.
The oath you take to help the sick and to do no wrong seems to be forgotten when it applies to minorities. My pain is invalid until it meets your threshold, till grace pulled me through. No longer a boy or a girl, only a man or woman in society's eyes. Still invisible. They want us to have a voice only if it matches their discord. You claim no judgment, you claim no bias, but I'm another in your assumptions. You wonder why we protest for human rights. I wonder what would happen if I was white.
Is it just me, or I can never speak quite loudly enough for the lady at Greg's to hear? Is it just me, or the moment I ask for directions, the first thing I hear is, "You're not from here"? Is it just me, or when I try to conversate, I sound like Usain Bolt with his shoes untied, but when it's time to argue, I never get tongue-tied? Is it just me, or when I want something, you can call me the smooth operator? Is it just me, or when I'm not impressed, I sound just like Cat Slater?
You're not my mother! Yes, I am!
Is it just me, or no one on this planet sounds like me, but the moment I speak with passion is, ooh, she's a bit aggressive, isn't she? Is it just me, or when I speak in a different accent that's part of my heritage, they can't help but say,
my neighbour sounds the same, he's from Uganda. P.S. I'm Nigerian, by the way.
Is it just me, or I hate when people get cheated or disrespected because of the accent they have or the language that they speak? I can't help but think if they were not working class, it would be seen as posh or exotic. Is it just me, or you can tell how I feel by my face, not what I say, but it can't just be me because my mother's the same way?
Who are you? Who are you to make a decision for me? Who are you to decide I am okay? Who are you to tell me I am too young? Who are you to tell me it's all in my head? Is it because I look put together? I look healthy? I look presentable? I look okay? Or because I don't have a job? I don't come from this country? I don't belong here? I don't know what help I need? You're supposed to listen. You're supposed to care. You're supposed to help. You're supposed to be there for me, but you're not. Who are you to judge me based on how I look and where I am from? Who are you to make decisions without even asking why? Who are you to assume that I am okay? Who are you to tell me others have it worse? Really, who are you?
To camouflage, I had to paint. Without it, I could not. Saw a mirage. I didn't faint. I doubt they would have spotted me, otherwise I would oblige. But anyway, they did. With covered eyes, I could have tried to make the paint get rid. It came to make a bid. I did what had to have been done. A camouflage of my own making, forsaking what was won. Undertake a rotten shell. Compelled to act this way. Surrender to pretend, amend it by redacting me. Until I wasn't there, until I could not dare, not well off enough to pay the fare. And so I had to paint again, but this time different from before, to reacclaim the real slate that distance can't obscure. And with each stroke, I reawoke and sold enough to pay. Now free I walk, like me I talk, much happier today.
White privilege doesn't exist.
Oh, you're 25. Sorry, we can't help you anymore.
Someone with your background shouldn't request a service.
Systematic racism doesn't exist.
Men don't cry or have emotions.
Women belong in the kitchen.
It's not that painful, you're overreacting.
Sorry, we're only giving out telephone appointments at the moment.
Why are you so aggressive?
Nothing's wrong with you, you'll be fine.
Everyone's the same, with slight differences. The way we speak is a part of our personalities. Others judge, not something they should. It's all about understanding, not just standing. Spitting venom alongside every word they speak. We should be proud of our unique speech. An original language sounds fluent, so amazing but not easy to teach. People who are or have been discriminated for their accents, culture and a whole lot more need to speak up, and their voices deserve to be heard. Like Chantal says, shout it from the rooftops, right on the skyline. The way you are is just fine. Others hate due to insecurities of themselves. They take it out on someone else, trying to transfer all emotional pain somewhere else that's not hanging over them like dark clouds of sadness. Feeling frustration, get a pen and paper. Stationery isn't emotional, but
what people can be. So be careful who you say those hurtful words to, because behind closed doors, you'll never know what they might do because of you.